In this video, I'm going to explain how to use a Pushbot chart to help you play and win online Texas Hold'em poker tournaments. You can find this chart and many other articles at www.sngrinder.com. Before we get started, let me define a few of the terms you're going to see in this chart. For those of you unfamiliar with poker, in every form of poker there is a forced bet known as an ante before any cards are dealt. In Texas Hold'em, the antes are called blinds. The player to the left of the dealer button posts the small blind, and the person to the left of the small blind posts the big blind. The small blind in most games is half the size of the big blind. In some tournaments in the later stages, there's also a forced ante by everyone at the table. The ante is usually 10% of the big blind. In a cash game, the blinds will always stay the same. They don't increase as play goes on. But in a tournament, the size of the blinds is continually increasing. If everyone starts with 1,000 in chips and the blinds start at 5 and 10 in a tournament, then the blinds aren't very large in relation to the amount of chips everyone has left. You're only paying 15 chips in the blinds every round, and you've got 1,000 chips. It's just not a large percentage of your stack. But if the blinds double every 5 minutes, then 20 minutes from now, the blinds will be 40 and 80. There will be 120 chips in the pot pre-flop before any cards are dealt. So if you still have 1,000 in chips, if you raise and get everyone else to fold, you've just increased your chip stack by 120 chips, which is over 10%, which in turn increases your chance of winning the tournament. That is a huge advantage to you. When the blinds are large in relation to your remaining chip stack, play becomes simplified. You should either be pushing all in pre-flop to try to win the blinds and increase your chip stack by a large amount, or you should be folding. To determine how large your chip stack is in relation to the blinds, we use a number called M. To determine your M, first add up the total amount of chips that are in the pot pre-flop, as well as any antes, and divide that number, or divide your remaining stack by that number. So if there's a 50 chip small blind and 100 chip big blind, then there's 150 chips in the pot pre-flop. Let's say you've got a 1,500 chip stack. 1,500 divided by 150, then your M is 10. Anything less than 10 is considered a low M. That means the blinds are large. Anything above is considered medium or large. One other important piece of information to determine correct play is your position at the table. When position is referred to when talking about poker, it means how many people have yet to act behind you. When a hand is dealt, play starts on the person to the left of the big blind. That person is said to be under the gun or first to act. They don't get to see what anyone else at the table is going to do before they play their hand. Not knowing what anyone else is going to do is a big disadvantage. That's why under the gun is considered a bad position. As you move around the table and get closer to the button, play becomes easier. If you have the dealer button, then there are only two people left to act behind you, the small blind and the big blind. You've gotten to see what everyone else at the table does before you have to make your decision. That's another big advantage for you. We will label your position at the table as the number of people that are left to act behind you. So, for example, if you're on the button, there are two people left to act behind you. We'll say your position is 2. If you're in the small blind, the only person left to act behind you is the big blind. Your position is 1, and so on around the table. Note that if the table is not full, if there are only 6 people at the table, then you will never be in any of the early positions, 9, 8, 7, or 6. If there's 6 people at the table and you're first to act, you will still be in position 5. One last important piece of information is this chart can only be used when it is folded to you. If anyone has called or raised before you, play changes drastically because someone's shown that they have strength, that they like their hand. So only use this chart when it's folded to you. And now that you have all that information, using the chart's fairly simple. Just look at your hole cards and find the appropriate chart. There are 169 possible 2-card starting hands in Texas Hold'em, and this chart has all of them. So look at your 2 cards, find the corresponding chart. After you find your 2 cards, look up to the top where it has position. So if you have Ace-7 suited and you're in position 4, follow Ace-7 suited over to 4, and those are the numbers that you're interested in. The first number is for a tight table, the second number is for an average table, and the third number is for a loose table. What we mean by this is how many people are, or how loose and aggressive people are playing. At a tight table, people are folding a lot of hands. They're only playing premium hands. At a loose table, people are playing a lot of hands. They're calling and raising with bad hands in general. The number you're going to be interested in is the third number. You're going to be playing at loose tables until you get up to the higher limits. So, to use the chart, figure out your M, find your hand in the chart, move over to your position. If your M is larger than the number in the chart, then you should fold. If your M is lower than the number in the chart, then you should push. And it's as simple as that. Any hand you find in the table, scroll over to the position that you're in, and if your M is larger than the number push, if it's lower, fold. This should help you out quite a bit in the later stages of poker tournaments. This plays optimal. For more articles and strategy discussion, www.smggrinder.com. I hope you found this useful, and good luck at the tables.